Any gardener will tell you the eternal battle against slugs has erupted into a full-blown war this year. But on this allotment, well, the owner faces an internal battle as well.
From a wildlife point of view, we're part of a food chain. Tend to think about them as being one of the main prey items to things like hedgehogs and slow worms, and some birds will take them as well.
And when it comes to being an allotment owner, how do you feel about slugs then?
I'll show you my cabbages later. Yeah, they can devastate the crop. So sometimes it's minor damage and put up with it. This last year has been incredibly wet and there seems to be a lot more slugs around, so the damage has been more extensive. And I've certainly lost some crops completely.
This year has been a particularly good one for all sorts of slugs, and even on the coldest winter days when they're harder to spot, well, they've not gone far.
On a cold day like today, when we can't see the slugs, where are they?
Underground, undercover. A lot of slugs aren't active when it's freezing, but one or two are. So again, the little grey field slug will be active now, even below freezing temperatures, but it will be underground or undercover.
And when they're underground, they find the crops that are underground too.
Yeah, some are okay, but some have got a lot of damage like this one. I mean, there's barely anything left of this potato, and there are slugs in there.
Allotment holders here, though, have a little bit of extra help when it comes to controlling slugs. And that's because behind me is Worcester City Council's slow worm reserve, that patch of brambles. And slow worms love eating slugs.
But for those of us without a next-door wildlife reserve full of hungry slug-killing slow worms, what are the wildlife-friendly options?
I've tried all sorts of things. The old-fashioned beer traps, which do work as long as you keep replenishing the beer and emptying them. Also tried eggshells as well, which does work. Again, it needs replenishing, but if you've got a good source of eggshells, put them in the oven to dry them out, and then put those around your plants. Perhaps choosing the plants carefully as well. Like if you know you've got a slug problem, perhaps some of your lettuce species are very vulnerable, so choose which varieties to grow. I think with more bitter taste in plants are less likely to be eaten by the slugs.
And that brings us to the good news. More slugs means more food for wildlife. Your cabbages, your lettuces, they may have suffered, but hopefully that means there'll be more hedgehogs, slow worms and birds to enjoy when things warm up. David Gregory-Kumar, BBC Midlands Today, Worcester.